This came out today. Here's the New York Post. Project Veritas uncovers ballot harvesting fraud in Minnesota. And this is, incredibly wide-ranging. I want you to listen to this, and then we're going to talk with James O'Keefe of Project Veritas. Listen.
James O'Keefe here in downtown Minneapolis at the scene of the crime. The person you're about to meet, Liban Mohammed, a.k.a. King Liban 1, boasts about the hundreds of absentee ballots in his car.
Numbers don't lie. Waa ujeedaan gaarigaygu waa buuxaa. Waxaas waa absent ballot salka yaala. Soo ma jeedin. Fiiri, waxaasoo dhan soo ma jeedin. Waa buuxaa gaarigaygu. Waa buuxaa yaala. Waxaas kulli waa Jamaal Cusmaan way. Fiiri. 300 clear maanta soo dhacday oo Jamaal Cusmaan. Yeah.
There was video. You can see the video. There was a video out and about that he has the ballots in his car.
Right.
And talking about the only way you can win is with money. I was looking at that.
Wow. This is insane. Now, this racket, guess whose district this is in? Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar's Minneapolis district, where you had paid workers illegally gathering absentee ballots from elderly Somali immigrants, and Project Veritas busted them on this. James O'Keefe joins us now via phone. James, always so good to talk with you, and it never fails because you've done such great work in uncovering so much of this. I'm not surprised actually where this is, but this is incredibly widespread. Tell me about this, like how widespread this is, how many people were subjected to this, because surely people know that you just can't go out and that's what ballot harvesting is. Just go through and target elderly individuals or other individuals and get these ballots. Sometimes there's even questions as to whether or not, because you have to be like a witness if you're helping someone fill this out, that there are questions on whether that was even filled out even properly. Tell me about what you discovered just in this district alone. Hopefully we have James. Do we have James here?
I'm right here.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry,
we got
I was
James.
On mute.
There you are. We got you.
Digital. The video shows a man in a car. Basically, he's bragging. He says, "I've got hundreds of these ballots. My car is full." He's speaking in Somali there, but you could hear the word absentee ballots. And what this guy does is he goes around to these residences and he gives money in exchange for ballots. And these ballot harvesters talk about how it works there in Minneapolis. It's an open secret. And the harvesters take the ballots from the seniors. They take them away. They give them money. One of the ballot harvesters says how much he's been paid. That's when we get paid. We signed this ballot for Ilhan Omar, and we get paid. So this is clearly a very systemic activity there in Minneapolis. It's kind of an open secret. Many of these sources did not wish to speak on the record, so we blurred their face, but still show the video. One of the harvesters, a Somali American, acts as a ballot harvester, and he talks about the vote buying machine. He talks about how they come to our homes. They say, "This year you will vote for Ilhan," and then they have to produce these absentee ballots. So it's a coercion. It's money, and it's also a state crime in Minnesota to even possess more than 3 ballots.
Wow. And what are the penalties for I know that the president has said has said that he would like an investigation into this, but she's connected to this ringleader, and what are the potential consequences for this?
Well, there's federal laws, 18 U.S.C. 597, 52 U.S.C. 10307, 2 years in prison, 5 years in prison, federal laws for paying for votes, for paying a person or receiving money to register to vote. This is also a state crime, a state felony. Beyond paying voters, there are also laws about intimidating voters, coercion. And I think the challenge here, Dana, is that the agencies and organs that are supposed to police this, like the New York Times and the Minnesota Star Tribune, and the FBI, the director of the FBI actually said last week, there is no voter fraud. So this comes out, which is the first ever video. Please, if anyone disagrees, let me know. First ever video showing a man in a car with hundreds of illegal ballots. And of course, what does Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, do? He probably doesn't like me for exposing it. So the whole system is corrupt. And I think that this is a wake-up call to the president, to the Attorney General of the United States. I'm presuming President Trump will talk about it in the debates tomorrow, and I'm presuming Attorney General Barr will be forced to respond after release part 2.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know there's going to be more coming if it's a Project Veritas video. And this is just Minneapolis. I mean, I can't imagine because if this is Minneapolis, I would obviously imagine that this is taking place in other areas. I was just as you were joining us, was discussing the situation in Pennsylvania where people were throwing ballots in the trash if they were marked for Trump. They were military ballots. Just if you had to use Minneapolis as kind of like the base, how widespread would you estimate that this is? And this is kind of, I realize how broadly interpreted this question could be, but if you use Minneapolis, this district, as the base, how widespread would you say that this kind of fraud would be throughout the rest of the country?
Well, I mean, it's hard to know just how the extent of it, but we're not even battling that narrative in the media because, of course, if we don't get this into the front pages of the media and get prosecutors to do something about it, nothing will happen. The problem is people say this doesn't even happen. And this video, just this video alone, shows that it's systemic in this. So I think you've got a few percentage points. You've got tens of thousands of ballots. You've got ballots everywhere in all these cities, and no one's doing anything about it. Let me give you one example. I went to the county prosecutor who has jurisdiction to prosecute just the fact this guy had more than 3 ballots as a crime, and he jerked me around. He gave me to the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office gave me this other person. So it's a hot potato. Nobody wants to do anything about it because they don't want to be perceived as fulfilling this narrative that voter fraud is a problem. This whole thing needs to just be exposed. And I would ask that your audience tweet the video, #ballot harvesting. And if you're someone in your community who has access to voter fraud, send us an email, veritatips@protonmail.com.
There you go, right there. Project Veritas, James O'Keefe. And make sure you check out their website as well. And I anticipate, when is part 2 coming? Can you say?
Probably tomorrow morning or even earlier. We launched this last night. People are thinking that we competed with Trump's tax returns. I didn't even know that was happening, but we'll release the video in the next 12 hours or so.
Yeah, I would say that this is not a nothing burger, whereas the New York Times piece is. This is a serious issue, and it's weird because as much as the left talks about election integrity and making sure that every vote's counted and that it's all done above board, it's amazing how they just won't really address what is happening in their own Democrat districts. James O'Keefe, always appreciate what you and the folks at Project Veritas do, and thank you for your work because I don't think you get enough credit or appreciation for it, but we appreciate you.
Thank you, Dana.
Of course. Take care.
Thank you.